Tonight, a takeover of Rikers Island could be on the horizon.
Federal prosecutors making the announcement of a filing for contempt of court and seeking a court-appointed receiver to take responsibility out of the hands of the Adams administration.
Now, News 12's Heather Fordham is here with us in studio to break it all down for us. And Heather, what does this mean for those that are on Rikers Island?
Well, Kurt and Amanda, the federal prosecutor, says that Rikers Island has been in crisis for years, and the mistreatment of both the inmates and Department of Corrections staff dates back several administrations. This announcement comes just 2 days after the death of an inmate who is the 25th person to die in DOC custody, or shortly after being released since 2022. Today, Williams released a statement saying, in part, after 8 years of trying every tool in the toolkit, we cannot wait any longer for substantial progress to materialize, and that his office will seek a court-appointed receiver to address the conditions on Rikers Island. Now, back in 2015, an agreement was made between the U.S. and New York City to address the violations of inmates' constitutional rights on Rikers Island. It required the DOC to implement reforms to reduce violence and improve the safety and well-being of all inmates and staff in the jail. However, just a week ago, on July 10th, the Federal Monitor released a report that found the DOC had not made substantial progress in implementing the reforms, plans, or practices that were in that agreement. Williams says this report is what ultimately led them to this decision, and if appointed, the receiver would report to the court and would have the power to make the changes to be in compliance with that action plan. Now, earlier this evening, public advocate Jamani Williams was in our studio for Ask Your Advocate, and he shared his thoughts on the issue. Take a listen.
I also have concerns about receivership. We've seen it not work in other places as well. So we've had a number of things we're asking to see with that receivership, including getting community groups have been working on this, and people, a panel of folks who've been working on this to work alongside the receivership as well. But at some point you have to do something, because what's happening now is not good for anyone.
So what's next? The decision on if a receiver can take over Rikers Island will now go before a U.S. District Court judge on August 10th. Meanwhile, city officials releasing this statement regarding these latest findings, in part saying over the last 6 months, our efforts have led to double-digit reductions in a number of areas. And just 3 months ago, the Federal Monitor stated that real change has occurred on Rikers Island. So what has changed?